Hello, Epic Gamers! I've noticed there's a lot of uncasted games, so I decided to cast one myself. Today we will be casting the Kerpa versus the Devil himself match from the Open series of the TnT tournament. Let's get right into it. In the north, Kerpa with playing as Belafide, and the Devil himself in the south as the Quartermaster. We have a very interesting deck from the Devil himself. A very standard deck from Kerpa. This was pretty much the meta, the previous patch. But the Devil has Lizards as his only tier 1, which is a bit bad on this patch because most Toads got buffed. Then Skunks as standard tier 2, Badger, and nice free triple defenses. This is a classic PAL style, where you rush with Lizards and defend with buildings. Classic. Ooh, a very early Warren from Kerpa. He might be able to take a pig off from the Devil himself, who sold off his Lizard Warren, which he had, I think. Oh yeah, this is, he has to sell, he has to sell. Oh, being very stubborn, but at least he only loses 8 food. And oh, it's so over. Losing the pig and the building pig as well. That's 120 food advantage for Kerpa. Not even losing a single squirrel. That's very unfortunate. Kerpa with the 7 farm Warren, getting a huge early game advantage. The Devil might be able to do some flanking maneuvers. This is a pretty open map, so he might be able to counter-attack to take some pigs. But with 3 Warrens being distributed all around Kerpa's base, that's probably just a pipe dream. Devil getting back to 8 farms soon. Yeah. Kerpa himself also getting into Squizzard, into some lizards himself. Yeah, the Devil should probably buy some defenses, maybe, and expand, so he would be able to get back into this game. Or, well, if he survives long enough, the advantage will be pretty much nullified. So just defending and ecoing up is probably the best strat. Kerpa also, well, Kerpa is expanding now, knowing he has the advantage, so the Devil himself not being able to attack. Ooh, Devil floating a lot of food. Oh, bang, just normal defenses, and just in time, as Kerpa launches an attack. And the defenses manage to be built on time. The Wire does too. And the Devil holds with a huge trade. Let's look at the graph. Oh yeah, what a beautiful army value graph. Kerpa losing everything, and the Devil himself losing only about 75% of Kerpa's value. This puts the Devil himself back into the game. He will now be able to eco up safely. Ooh. I mean, he can't attack, so he has to eco up. Yeah, finally expanding. That's a good move. And building a few more defenses. Yeah, unfortunately, having no pressure tools. Oh, tier 2, teching into tier 2. That's a good choice. He will be able to pressure Kerpa with this nice tech advantage. Especially considering Kerpa has only tier 1. Although it's Squizzard, and Squizzard does counter Skunk if microed correctly. Kerpa, on 16 farms, has a huge eco lead above the Devil himself. Although his army is... well, his army value is about comparable, actually. when the skunks get out. Yeah, the Devil's army value is inflated because of the defenses, and yeah, he will not be able to attack with them. Kerpa decking into Boar Falcon, one of the best comps in the game. Well, at least the best comps of the previous patch. Let's see. We'll see if they are just as strong in this patch. And the Devil himself going into the Badger. Classic yin and yang, Boar and Badger. No pigeons for the Devil, so that might give him a bit of trouble. But Kerpa has no snakes at least, so it's not the worst idea. But to not go pigeons with Badger, but it's not that great either. Kerpa getting a free campfire here and expanding into his third base. Ooh, the Devil still only on one farm at a huge eco disadvantage right now. It's a bit of a misplay expanding like that and not building any farms. It's a bit unfortunate. It will basically be Badger against 8 Falcon, and Falcons shred Badger, especially without basically any support troops. Although these defenses are pretty nice, and the Devil will be able to at least hold on, unless Kerpa just macros his Falcons to the north of this base and cliff abuses, which he will be able to do easily because the Devil has no long-ranged troops. The only thing which can even attack up is his lizards and his turrets, both of which can be out-microed or played around pretty easily with this cliff. So yeah, this arty will also probably be sniped pretty easily if Kerpa decides to attack, which he doesn't have to, he's just ecoing up. Almost he has a full third base, as the Devil himself almost fills up his natural. This arty position is really nice. This entire map is actually pretty good for artillery creeping, with these bases being so near each other. If the game goes for long enough, the Devil himself will be at an advantage. But Kerpa looks like selling everything off, going Max Falcon. I'm not sure I completely agree with that. You usually want to have at least a few tier 1s to at least take up the ground tiles, so the enemy can step on them. Like, if nothing else, that's a good enough surface. And also it allows you for greater micro if you have multiple units to control. It allows you to do like at least a few micro strats. Devil himself finally getting into his third base, but he was at such a big eco disadvantage for the longest time. Look at this integral. Kerpa has more than doubled the money of the Devil himself, and you can see it. 18 Falcons, a tier 3, and another full base. Kerpa, I mean the Devil himself selling off of his lizards to even be able to afford this huge eco expansion, and now has nothing, as Kerpa will just attack, and there's nothing to defend. No defenses, I mean not enough defenses at least, and Kerpa takes the victory easily with his huge army, as the Devil himself unfortunately wasn't even able to afford the Badger. Maybe he sold it off, I don't remember. I think he never even had enough money to buy it. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Well, first game goes to Kerpa. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next game. Game 2. Kerpa versus the Devil. Kerpa up 1 point. We'll see if the trend holds. Ooh. Devil himself going into a more normal deck, taking the buffed snakes, going for pigeons this time, and also wolf for support. And Kerpa choosing to go owl instead of boar. And pigeons instead of lizards. Pretty standard map. Nothing special, no corners, no campfires, no annoying high ground or cliff abusable bases. Just a standard map. Yeah. Both players going instantly to 8 farms. No shenanigans this time. Kerpa may be buying a ninja base over here. It's not even that unprotected, but it's probably too in the open for Kerpa. Ooh. Complete mirror matchup right now. Same builds on both sides. Kerpa will probably go into his tier 2 right now. And he goes into Skunks, a good choice. It allows for sieging the enemy. Actually, you can kind of siege this base from this high ground. It's pretty nice for attacking, or at least starting a push from. The Devil himself also going into Skunks, a classic Skunk versus Skunk matchup, and Kerpa going into some Pigeons. I don't know how good Pigeons are for healing from the Skunk gas, but they can be nice. They can definitely save a few squirrels. Looks like both players are going to push, even though they both have basically the same armies. So one of them is definitely making a misplay, and Kerpa actually catching the Devil himself a bit out of position, not being able to macro his army, and with his Skunk far away, but looks like the 3 squirrels that the Devil himself had actually... Ooh, it was actually an even trade. It was actually an even trade. It looks like the Devil actually lost more, definitely. Definitely lost more there. Looks like the pigeons were actually pretty useful for Kerpa, being able to save that one last squirrel that he had. And both players expanding. The Devil positioning himself out here. Maybe he'll be able to get some pre-gas, but a nice pre-gas from both sides. Ooh, pigeons are pretty nice right here, because Kerpa's skunks will now be able to fight off the Devil's skunks indefinitely. And the pigeons also help him see up this high ground, which is pretty great now that the Devil himself built his base up here. Both players into 2 farms. Still basically even on the... everywhere, completely even. This is a pretty even game. Kerpa now going into some falcons. Those are pretty nice against the skunks, because they don't get hit by gas. Although they don't... well, yeah, they're nice. Nice to have. Oh, and going to the nice tier 3 at the same time as the Devil himself goes for a Badger. The Badger definitely being able to counter the Owl. A single Owl at least, because... yeah, you can simply easily rev up on the mice. The tier 3 gets scouted. Will he sell it off? Yeah. He agrees, sells off, and goes into Falcons, which should be able to counter the Badger. Kerpa, readying an attack, wants to hit before the Badger comes out. Oh! And the Devil losing a lot of units before the battle starts because he was out of position. The Falcon giving nice support, but the Devil holds, but is unable to afford the Badger. Kerpa losing a little bit more than the Devil, but it's pretty much an even trade again. Kerpa is still building up his Falcon force, but the Devil unfortunately supply blocking his Badger, which means the next fight will definitely go in Kerpa's favor, and the Devil misreading the situation, attacking when he has actually the same army, so I guess it's not that big of a misplay, but I would definitely not be attacking at this time, as I'm waiting for the Badger. Bro, please! Sell off something. Your supply blocked. There it is. Finally selling off something. The Badger will soon start building. Kerpa had one farm ahead. The Skunk Siege starting. The Devil losing one squirrel for free. A bit unfortunate. He should put his snakes up in front so he could snipe those tier 2, but a nice fight. Oh, and the Falcon's absolutely shredding all of the Devils tier 1. Oh, and losing both snakes like that, that's unfortunate. Pulling back like that, but now it's a bit too late, although the Badger is almost out. It's probably GG, the base falls. The Devil's starving now. Kerpa pulling back. It might be a bit of a misplay because the Badger is almost out. That will not mean anything unless the Devil manages to win in 45 seconds or at least rebuilds a base so he could rebuy a farm. So the Badger is out. Final confrontation. No pigeons on the Devil's side. Getting the rev up. Oh, and chasing down the army. Chasing down Kerpa's army. Ooh, nice micro back. Keeps the Badger alive and kills everything from Kerpa. 21 seconds until the game is over. Only 10 HP, the pigs will be able to kill that, I would... Well, it's too late to build a farm now, so you have to go all in at this point. And the Badger gets cornered right here. Doesn't have enough time to kill off both bases anyways, and that's GG. The Devil starves. Really nice place from the Devil, but Kerpa manages to pull out another victory. 2 versus 0. Let's go watch the next replay. And here we are with game 3. Let's start. Kerpa in the north. The Devil himself in the south. Switching his deck yet again. Now going for the Fox. Fox Ferret and Mine. A pretty good combinations. Mines are used to support ferrets. Fox does well with Mine. You use Mines to cover your Fox's retreat as the tier 1 of the enemy is trying to chase you down. Not a bad comp. Fox and the Owl is also nice. You can... Yeah, it's a pretty good comp. Kerpa on the other hand, I think he kept the same units as he had the previous game. So yeah, also a solid comp. Let's see if he will be able to pull out another victory. Ooh, the Devil going for... Oh, Kerpa rushing with an early Squirrel Warren. And the Devil responding with 2 warrens of his own to try to get the squirrels out in time. And managing to defend successfully. He's down a farm, but it's definitely better than losing anything. In fact, he might be able to get some counter-attack damage over here. Ooh, building the mine. Probably not the best idea. Doesn't really do anything, right? If you have the army advantage. At least not when you're attacking in this manner. And both players stabilizing on even warren count and even farm count. Oh, the Devil actually going into a tier 2 camps. Not a bad choice against squirrels. Definitely good in low numbers when they can't get easily sniped. And allows for some epic sneaky plays. Devil pushing out into the map. You're just sending his army into the middle of the map for no reason. Sending out his army into the middle of the map to protect his expansion. Okay. Ooh, the Devil actually 2 squares behind Kerpa. So he definitely shouldn't be pushing right now. Kerpa with his 2 skunks will definitely be able to siege this base a bit, but... Ooh, that's a really nice mine placement. That's really nice mine placement. Unfortunately, it gets immediately scouted. That's a bit sad. That's a bit sad. You always want to place your mines after your enemy runs runs through the space where you want to place them. So we have maximum time before they so they can hide in time. Kerpa might just assume that you sold them off, so he might still attack. Or step on them, I mean. They're in a really good position. Oh, he's actually going to try to clean them out with his skunks. Ooh, scouting even. Scouting them out. But no casualties on either side. But a lot of skunk damage. That will get healed up though. The devil one farm ahead. Kerpa going into falcons, immune to mine, and immune to calms. And the devil himself going into ferrets. Ferrets are pretty good as an offensive tool, but not good when you're even on units. Definitely not a good army fighting unit, the ferret. Ooh, Kerpa trying some cliff abuse. He should be able to kill this one squirrel. One pig, I mean, but ooh, really nice awareness from the devil himself, scouting and responding in time. That was really lucky that those squirrels pathed down. Usually they would just walk around and, like, he almost lost his army to those two skunks. So he should be more careful with how he rallies his units. Kerpa farming up to max 8 farms. The devil himself almost doing the same. Getting into more skunks, I mean, cams. Kerpa going into a sneaky tier 3 here in the corner. An owl. That will take like 1 minute to finish. Giving enough time for devil himself to attack, which he is able to do with his ferrets. He can really use those ferrets nicely right now. He is up on tier 2, he's up on tier 1. Oh, especially now that Kerpa is going into triple tier 3, the devil himself has an amazing opportunity to attack. But not doing anything really. Just scouting around. Building more tier 1, I think he's ready to attack. Unless he goes into fox now, which would get immediately countered by those 3 owls. Okay, goes into owl himself. That's better than the fox at least, but never mind. Goes into the fox. Really unfortunate that Kerpa wasn't... I mean, devil didn't scout the owls. Really unfortunate. Unfortunately misplaying completely. Not taking advantage of the huge opportunity he had and taking into the wrong unit unknowingly. Ooh, and even more ferrets. Building even more ferrets. Those will also be countered by the owl. That's really unfortunate. One owl is already out. And the devil finally scouting the triple tier 3. Now he knows what he's up against. So he should at least be able to sell off his fox now. Yeah. And his ferrets probably too. Those don't seem like that useful. Going into max mass cam is probably the best what he can do with the units he has. Cams do pretty well against mice. Relatively at least. Okay, mine's clearing out all the mice. That's really good. Now if he pushes, he should be able to take out the base at least, or something. Clearing the mace out for a cheap amount of money. Mines are not that expensive. Unfortunately, he waits and doesn't take out doesn't take hold of the opportunity and waits for all the mice to build up before pushing out again. A huge fight. Falcon's giving huge support to Kerpa. But Cams being able to push through the front lines. Oh! But the skunk gas destroys the devil's army. And the devil is left with only 4 ferrets, which do absolutely nothing. Even losing to a single mice, one of their members. So unfortunate. Kerpa now at a huge advantage. Losing almost nothing in that battle. And at an income advantage as well. Kerpa going to try for some pokes with his ferrets, taking out at least a little bit. But here comes the swarm! And the devil probably loses. Yeah, he's losing. All of his army is dead. Ferret's doing absolutely nothing in the battle. especially not against the Falcons. And that's GG. Kerpa winning 3-0. The Devil losing 0-3. And yeah, that's it for the match. Congratulations to Kerpa. And I hope both players will do well in the tourney.